Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I don't understand how there's no limitation set on how much a government can spend on other people and other countries from the country's coffers. For example, I don't understand, maybe I'm just a Dummkopf, as a German would say, and I don't understand how, for instance, Joe Biden could just say, yeah, let's give Ukraine $50 billion in aid. And everybody is okay with that. I really don't understand how one person should be allowed to make this decision in the, I would say, not in the agreement with the rest of the nation. Because after all, he's not giving from his family, from his sock, from his underwear, he's giving from us. So, and something that he doesn't have. That's another thing. He's giving something that we have to provide because he said so. I understand that, you voted one time and these guys can screw the whole thing up for 4 years legally. But where are the constraints, limits to this? We have here the European Union really, before I used to say shooting themselves in the foot. Right now I'm thinking hanging themselves. I mean, I can't analyze this decision in other way than hanging themselves. It's bad enough that European Union is in an economic recession. You know what recession is? We're not doing very well, to put it mildly. And what did they decide, or not they? The guys in Brussels, a small clique of people, they decide for the whole European Union, for the citizens of various countries that stupidly, I don't know how you put it, they agreed to be in this club. And this club is not the club it seems like they thought they will be, or they were told it will be like. It's a total tyranny. These guys decide, and I'm going to show you here, I have two articles. Obviously the Ukrainians are celebrating this for good reasons. European Union to propose Ukraine 50 billion euros in financial aid. You know what financial aid is? This is Tuesday, June 20th, 2023. The European Union is ready to propose a financial assistance package worth about 50 billion euros to support Ukraine. But brace yourselves, my friends, because you're going to pay for certain things, and you're going to find out for what right here. This is according to Bloomberg, citing sources familiar with the plan, reported by European Pravda. Details. According to Bloomberg sources, the European Commission's proposal will help finance the Ukrainian government's current expenses and pay for urgent reconstruction priorities. So you guys are paying for another country's government and whatever urgent reconstruction priorities. Did anybody ask you about that? And you're going to find out how that would be provided. Each and every country will have to give money. So the European Commission wants to avoid a burdensome instrument for Ukraine given the war, and will offer assistance in the form of grants, soft loans, and guarantees, as the source says. Don't look at this. Look at this. All right? Don't look at weasel talk. Look at that. Grants and boo-ba-bee-boo-boo-ba-ba-ba. The package aims to combine aid used to pay another country's wages, pensions, and some public services. But they don't pay for yours. Your pensionaries, the retirees, ask them how much pension they have. Very strict, very low. But you're gonna pay for those guys. I love when these guys, the politicians, tell you, we don't have the money. Remember Sunak and his government? When they were confronted with all those strikes in December, January, February, by all kind of little areas, nurses, the drivers, all those. What was the answer? we can't give you, we don't have the money. And then they give, $5 billion to Ukraine. Where? How? Imagine, put this in the context of a family. The father or the mother will give the neighbor's kids candies and food from you, and you will have less or none at all. How is that honest? How is that fair? On the promise that they will probably, we tell you, defend you from your cookies being taken by the boogeyman over there that we tell you is the boogeyman. Because the boogeyman has a problem with a neighbor. It's between them, but we intervene. And therefore you have to shut up, and we're going to get your candies and all your resources to give in to them. I always disliked this Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Foundation and other so-called philanthropists. They were investing a lot in other countries and other continents. I'm okay with that. But first, you make sure that your country, your people, your family is doing great. And then you can expand because you have so much that you don't know what to do with it. So before Melinda does that, should make sure that certain things are fulfilled here. And they will say, well, we invest here. On the other hand, it's not Melinda Gates and Bill Gates, they used to have that foundation, job to do that. It's not theirs. It's the government who gets the revenue, the money, the taxes, and they're supposed to distribute it to the nation. Here, they give it to someone else, more or less, 50 billion euros. This is one article. It says, the money will be disbursed on the condition that Ukraine implements reforms. So that's a blackmail. You do what I tell you, we're going to give you the money. How do you call that? Aimed at improving the supremacy of the law and fighting corruption. Okay, well, they can do it without the money, don't you think? If they have values, if they have the European values, they should do this without the money. The aid package comes as Ukraine is launching a counteroffensive, tralalulula. And we have this weasel, Zmihal, but I'm not going to look at that. A rapid recovery, words. Let's go to the next article. Bloomberg, the same thing, but it's somewhere here. It's $55 billion, okay, that you're going to give to these guys. Right here, it should be financed, right here, reportedly, it should be financed through contributions of the member states and cover the period for 2024 to 2027. So each state, Brussels determined that will cover this money right here. It should be financed through contributions of the member states. Okay? Bloomberg noted that the package would contribute less annually than this year's 18 billion euros, $20 billion of financial aid for Ukraine. So they already gave this amount. Now they're going to give 55 for 3 years. So yes, this is Mihal, obviously. Let's hear. According to the World Bank, World Bank's assessment, Ukraine will need at least $411 billion for recovery and reconstruction. And why should, let's say, a German be mandated to pay it? Why should it be a French guy? Why should it be, a peasant in Romania? Why should it be, a pipe layer in, let's say Great Britain? Why should they pay? And I don't know if Great Britain is still part of this bullshit here, but I can use, Portugal, I can use Spain, I can use Italy. The figure is equivalent to 2.6 times Ukraine's projected gross domestic product in 2022. According to Kiev School of Economics, the total damages of Ukraine caused by Russia's war have reached almost $143.8 billion as of February. So who said that the French has to pay for it? Or the German? Or the Romanian? Since the start of the invasion, the EU and its member states have pledged 49 billion euros to Ukraine. So that's $54 billion. So there's gonna be what? $100 billion? How are your pensions there where you're at, my friends? How are they? Good? Well, I'm happy. If you have enough and everything is solved, then by all means, if your education system is doing great, if the medical bills are great, and you have full coverage for free, that's great. You can help some other people. That's very good. But taking from you, giving to someone, and you're starving, that's idiotic. Let me tell you this example. How many of you flew, let's say, across the Atlantic or across the Pacific? Why am I saying that? Because only then, usually you take this little, the stewardess, and now they call it a flight attendant, that person over there, instructs you. Now there's videos, you just look at a video over there, in case of depressurization. What are you supposed to do when that little thing falls on your fucking lap? You're not taking that and putting on your neighbor, you're putting first on you, right? And after that, you help the people around you. Why? Because if you start doing that and it's pressurized and you can't breathe anymore, you die, he dies. Like this, you make sure you're okay, and then you help everybody else. Do you think that you guys in Europe are okay in order to help Ukraine? I don't think so. I know so. I know people from the European Union. No, you're not. I have pensionaries in Romania, European Union, isn't it? Barely making it, and they get the money that could be given to those pensionaries. To whom? To Ukrainians. What am I supposed to do? Applaud it? I mean, if you want to do it yourself. But don't make it, hey, you gotta. Again, the politicians, that's a great thing with democracy. You vote one time and they make how many decisions they want. Where is that cap? They don't do anything illegally, it seems like. So everything they do is legal. Well, how can you stop that? And the answer is, wait 4 years until your country and your future and your children's future and your nation. And after 4 years, guess what? You're going to vote for some other ones that again you think that they are good, as you thought with these ones. And by the way, those guys in the European Commissions, it's a very strange way of being elected, okay? So nevertheless, you wait for 4 years, you elect some good ones, they're very good speakers and they are very charismatic, and again they do whatever they want, they turn the back on you. And who are you going to elect? You have only people like this around you, seem to be promoted by, I don't know, some businesses, money, interests. When you have a guy who says something that you're going to do for you, and how can you figure it out? Because you got burnt with Gigi, you got burnt with Mikey, you got burnt with Tommy, and it's 4, 4, 4. You were 3 times 4, and you thought you were doing right. So you got what? 12 years of your life, which is limited, and it was just lied by 4 guys that you voted, worked within the system. So what should you do? Well, go and vote again for another time. Make it 16 years. How can you change this? This idiot right here gives billions of dollars to and whomever to that country. I don't want to pay shit. I don't want to pay. Let's say I'm a very bad person, which I'm allowed to be. I'm a very, selfish person. I'm allowed to be. You're a very good person. Go ahead, pay. You can pay me too. No. They make me do it. Nobody asked me. I disagree with that. Very much. I don't think it's fair, honest, just. That's why mass democracy has a lot of holes that you can't feel. You don't have too many to feel them. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. Go and pay, go and work.